One of the best features from Pokémon Legends Arceus was the addition of Alpha Pokémon. I think I'm not the only one that still remembers his first encounter with one and how terrifying those things can be, especially early game. Mine was that Rapidash in the Obsidian Fieldlands. Let me know yours in the comments down below. A while ago though, I made a video about things they should change from Pokémon Legends Arceus when making Pokémon Legends ZA, but this one is one I want to keep. But should they or can they? Well, hey, I'm not so a trainer, and what about Alpha Pokémon? Let's get into it. In Pokémon Legends Arceus, the setting for our adventure was the old Sinnoh region, known then as Hisui, since Sinnoh was actually Dialga, Palkia, and even Arceus, and it was quite different from any other region we've explored before. Unlike the usual cities and towns we would visit during a normal playthrough of any Pokémon game, here we were met with one village, Jubilife Village, and a couple of settlements, the Diamond Clan settlement led by Adaman and the Pearl Clan settlement led by Irida. This was all part of the premise of the game, a region still barely even touched by human hand where Pokémon lived in the wild and did not trust us. There was no trainer-Pokémon relationship, and so many of them were actually hostile. And this gave way to this awesome feature that we call the Alpha Pokémon. Known for their huge size and red glowing eyes, this Pokémon would not only attack us on sight, but just their roar alone was enough to send us down and deal damage to us. They were also stronger than those around them and hard to take down and capture. This made Hisui and Pokémon Legends Arceus really feel like a region and game where we were the ones being chased and not the other way around. It worked incredibly well. Things though are a bit different in Pokémon Legends ZA. This time we won't have a full region to explore, we will actually have a full city to explore. And sure, this isn't the Lumiose city we know nowadays, it's still an underdeveloped one, but still, I cannot imagine it having the same wilderness as Hisui or the same relationship between trainers and Pokémon. Because of that, do Alpha Pokémon even make sense in this more urban setting? I think that, in the end, this will depend on a lot of things, and one of the biggest is how will the biomes be distributed. A while ago, I made a video where I talked about how they could make a single city be full of spawns. You can check it out here, it talks about other things, but imagine a big terrarium from the Indigo Disc, but it's actually Lumiose City. The outside routes would likely be spilling into it, and I could easily see Alpha Pokémon making their way to the city this way. Especially since, if we're trying to find harmony between people and Pokémon, that means that it doesn't exist yet, so we are bound to meet some really mad Pokémon. On the other hand, this game is likely focusing on Zygarde and the imbalance that our redevelopment will cause the ecosystem. So we don't know a lot about Zygarde, but we do know that it kinda doesn't like when the ecosystem gets unbalanced, and so it might be the reason why angry Pokémon are trying to battle us. It might be its way of trying to balance the ecosystem once again. This could give us angry Pokémon instead of simple alphas. We could have outbreaks of Zygarde-powered Pokémon defending specific areas and they could fill that same role. Maybe not the red eyes and huge size, but the more green-focused approach. Maybe even affected by the Zygarde cores that are in some specific areas of the city. Still, unless they were really menacing, these wouldn't fill the same role that alphas did way back in Pokémon Legends Arceus. And so, another route they could take is to create something that is like Alpha Pokémon, but more mega. That's because the only thing we have confirmed besides that the game happens only in Lumiose City is that Mega Pokémon are returning. What if, instead of regular Alpha Pokémon like in Pokémon Legends Arceus or Zygarde-powered Pokémon like I suggested, we simply have Mega Pokémon as the Alphas? We can't deny that it would look incredibly cool to see wild Mega Pokémon coming for us as Alphas used to do. There are a few issues with this though, one being lore-based and the other simply one of the bad things about Mega Pokémon. The lore one is how supposedly there's the need for a bond in order for a Pokémon to Mega Evolve, and that's something that a wild Pokémon simply wouldn't have. The other one is simply how limiting Mega Evolution is. Even with new ones possibly being released, it would mean that only a few and only final evolutions could be quote-unquote alpha, which would tremendously reduce the fun of that feature from Pokémon Legends Arceus. It would mean that, for example, no Alpha Helioptile, and that would be a waste and nobody wants that. And so, should Alpha Pokémon return? I think yes, especially considering how limiting the other options are. They should try to find a way to make the biomes around the main part of the city something that we fear exploring because of their presence there. And can they return? Well, I think so as well. With Pokémon Legends ZA clearly showing us the premise of a battle between people and Pokémon, a battle for their home, we need to have angry, powerful Pokémon being extremely territorial, and that can only be achieved by having something huge coming after you, just as Alpha Pokémon did way back in Pokémon Legends Arceus. And that is all I have for you today. Alpha Pokémon, or a version of them, should become a mainstay of the Legends series. But what about you? Do you see them returning in Pokémon Legends ZA? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokémon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. Also, you can become a channel member or check out my merch in order to further support the channel. I'd be forever thankful for that. You can follow me on social media or check out one of my streams here and on Twitch. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.